I guess the question is, what are the next step now? Should I go to our prosecuting attorney, ask him to write a letter, raise some concerns? The community has suggested maybe we ought to go to the Attorney General's office. I mean, they're all, oh, let's get these guys there.
Well, you probably have, I can't remember, but has the well water been tested and it's normal as everybody else's?
Well, there's a range of well.
Could that be a factor?
It could be a factor. There is a high iron content, okay? But one of the things that they did after they saw the high iron content was this summer, and I should have put the date of that happening, they went ahead and put a water purification system on it. So they're filtering out the water that they're using. So it's getting rid of all those high mineral
So
content.
that could be why it's better than it used to be?
Well, but it's, 30.
Still, I know, that's better than 200.
Right. At one point, Premier Tech was saying, we think it has to do with the kind of water that's being used, but they never sent us any information about it. They just sort of threw that out. We said, get us some studies so we can understand this better. They didn't give us any studies about it.
So if we would pursue a legal issue, we would be basically saying there's a fallacy in the system.
That it's never worked. It really hasn't ever worked properly. And so, maybe it would have been prudent to have done something earlier. They had a responsibility for the first 2 years of it going in, but as we talked to them, they kept saying, "Oh, you don't have to worry. We won't abandon it. We want this to work."
I think we should ask the prosecutor first to get his advice on it. If he wants to pursue it, or if he wants to pass it off to someone else, that'd be up to him. I think we should involve him in this.
Should I just go ahead and talk to him and see what he thinks?
And I'd entertain a motion to request his assistance in this.
I'll motion. I'll second.
A motion second to request the prosecuting attorney to assist Rick in trying to resolve this problem that Kevin incurs.
Do a bit with that. That's pretty much, that's my, even though I don't have a timekeeper, that's the AR. Two other little things. One is, as part of our flex grant from the development office, we're working to try to move the Camp Lakeview to the construction stage. We've got a meeting Tuesday. There's a little flyer about that this coming Tuesday at 6 to try to engage more people in the community. And another thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be sponsoring each month. We're going to sponsor a community day at the lake to try to get more people to see it and use it. And we've got one coming up the 6th of June. And the last thing, the attempt to get stimulus money for the heating and cooling system for the courthouse, that application has gone to Region 2. They've accepted it. They don't think there's any more information that they need, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to.
We have a board meeting in the morning, or I think at noon, Region 2, so hopefully at that meeting we'll find something out.
Great.
If I find anything, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Check that door right there.
Thank you very much. Sure.
Next thing on the agenda is the estate of Ralph Dale Atkins. As you know, Commissioners, at the last meeting, we had some questions that was brought up concerning a will that was brought in for the probate, and we decided to send a letter out to the executrix and then to have all parties to come in so that we could discuss contesting of the will.
Okay, I just wait. I thought maybe Mr. Stevens.
He is.
The issue, as I remember it, and certainly any anyone in the family or lawyers present. Our objective is to always work through these issues the best we can. Not being legal people, we do the best that we can with common sense approach, but we certainly have legal advice on occasion as needed, and sometimes very helpful. Sometimes some people accuse us of even ignoring that, but our objective always is to try to resolve the issue. And it seemed to be at the last meeting, as I remember, that the will was of issue, whether it had been properly executed, and if that was the case, then that would be an important factor in how this estate is settled. So I think this morning the purpose is to examine the will as to its validity. So who do we have with us, if you would, if you want to come up and say it, or how you want to do it, to identify who's representing who. I know we have a couple of attorneys, right? We have just Joe. Okay. Mr. Stevens.
Well, good morning, Your Honors. I'm here on behalf of the executor of this estate that was appointed by the will, and of course I represent her as well as the will. That is Billy Joe Adkins Thacker. Now, I've just recently been asked to appear in this matter, actually day before yesterday, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare. I do want to direct your attention to the basically the document that was filed by Michael Dale Adkins pertaining to the will. And by my reading of that document, the essence of what he alleges here is not that the will is not improperly executed, because I think that a review of the will itself, which is on file with the Commission, clearly shows the signature of Ralph Dale Adkins. It shows that it was properly witnessed by two witnesses, and that the fact that they witnessed that will was attested to a notary. Therefore, at least in my opinion, the will is proper as to its form. As I understand the complaint of Mr. Adkins, it alleges that the signatures of Ralph Dale Adkins on that will were forged. So Mr. Adkins will obviously appear here to talk with you about it, but it would be my understanding that since he is alleging that the signatures were forged, of course that is the same thing as fraud. The burden, as I understand it, would be entirely upon him to prove by clear and convincing evidence that the signatures were in fact a fraud and that they were forged. So that's our position about the matter here today, and since he has the burden to go forward, the Commission might want to have him present his case, or which I think would be appropriate. Now, the other thing about it is, since this is my first appearance in it, I don't know whether he is prepared to introduce witnesses and how the county wants to proceed with that matter. Our position, however, would be this: if he cannot meet his burden, I think the court is compelled to uphold the will as being proper as to form and substance. And with that, I would yield the podium to Mr. Adkins if he wants to talk about that.
Mr. Adkins, Michael, if you want to come up and restate, add anything that you want to add to it, you can sit at the table, you can take the podium, whatever it's comfortable with you.
I'm not represented by any counsel. Only evidence I have is his own signature on banknotes. I do have a handwriting expert, Harold Roden from Xenia, Ohio, who has examined the signature in question and has confirmed that that's not Ralph Dale Adkins' signature.
And then we'll present that for us, our review.